The hot desert sun shone brightly over the camp of Israel. Thousands of families had been traveling for many weeks since God had rescued them from slavery in Egypt. They had crossed the Red Sea on dry ground, watched God provide bread from heaven, and drank water that flowed from a rock. Every day, they learned that the Lord was with them. One morning, the people arrived at the foot of a great mountain called Mount Sinai. Its tall rocky peaks reached high into the sky. The mountain stood silent and mighty, as if waiting for something wonderful to happen. Moses looked up at the mountain with awe. He knew this was no ordinary place. This was the mountain where God had first spoken to him from the burning bush. As the people pitched their tents across the wide valley, Moses heard God's call. "The Lord is calling me," Moses quietly said before beginning the climb. Step by step, Moses climbed the steep mountain until he came into God's presence. Then the Lord spoke to Moses. "You have seen what I did to the Egyptians," God said. "You have seen how I carried you on eagle's wings and brought you to myself. Now, if you obey my voice and keep my covenant, you shall be my treasured possession among all nations. Although the whole earth belongs to me, you will be for me a kingdom of priests and a holy nation." Moses listened carefully to every word. God loved his people and wanted them to belong to him in a special way. When Moses came back down the mountain, he gathered the elders of Israel. "The Lord has spoken," Moses announced. "These are his words." The elders listened carefully, and soon the message spread throughout the camp. Without hesitation, all the people answered together, "Everything the Lord has spoken we will do." Moses returned to the mountain and told the Lord what the people had said. Then God spoke again. "I will come to you in a thick cloud," the Lord declared, "so that the people may hear me speaking with you. Then they will always trust that I have sent you." God gave Moses careful instructions. "Go back to the people. Tell them to prepare themselves today and tomorrow. They must wash their clothes and be ready on the third day. On that day I will come down upon Mount Sinai in the sight of all the people." God also gave a serious warning. Set boundaries around the mountain. Tell everyone not to touch the mountain or even come too close. Whoever touches it must not go up, because this mountain is holy while I am there. Moses returned to the camp and faithfully shared every instruction. The people washed their clothes and prepared themselves just as God had commanded. They waited with excitement, wonder, and holy reverence. Parents spoke quietly to their children. Everyone looked toward the towering mountain, wondering what it would be like when the Creator of heaven and earth came down before them. The third day was drawing near, and all Israel waited expectantly at the foot of Mount Sinai, ready to witness the awesome presence of the living God. The morning of the third day arrived, and a great silence covered the camp of Israel. Families stood outside their tents, looking toward Mount Sinai. The mountain that had been quiet before now looked different. The people could feel that something extraordinary was about to happen. Suddenly, the sky began to change. Dark clouds covered the mountain, and thunder echoed across the desert. Bright flashes of lightning filled the sky. A loud trumpet sound grew stronger and stronger, causing everyone in the camp to tremble. The people looked at one another with wonder and fear. The entire mountain shook greatly because the Lord had descended upon it in fire. Smoke rose from the mountain like the smoke of a furnace, and the sound of the trumpet became louder and louder. Moses spoke to the people. "Do not be afraid," he told them. "God has come to test you, so that his fear may be with you and keep you from sin." The people stood at a distance, watching as Moses approached the mountain where God's presence was revealed. Then the Lord called Moses to come up. Moses climbed Mount Sinai, leaving the people below. There, God spoke directly to him and gave him his commandments, the laws that would guide his people in how they should live before him. God said, "I am the Lord your God, who brought you out of Egypt, out of the land of slavery." The first commandment was given, "You shall have no other gods before me." God reminded Israel that he alone had rescued them. He wanted their hearts to belong completely to him. Then God gave the second commandment, "You shall not make for yourself an idol." The people were not to create images and worship them. The Lord alone was worthy of their worship. The third commandment was, "You shall not misuse the name of the Lord your God." God taught his people to honor his holy name with respect. The fourth commandment was, "Remember the Sabbath day by keeping it holy." God commanded them to set aside a special day of rest and worship. Then God spoke about family and relationships. Honor your father and your mother. This commandment carried a promise that those who obeyed would experience blessing in the land God was giving them. God continued, "You shall not murder. You shall not commit adultery. You shall not steal. You shall not give false testimony against your neighbor. You shall not covet your neighbor's house, or anything that belongs to your neighbor." Every word came from God with power and authority. These commandments were not ordinary instructions from a human leader. They were the words of the Creator who had delivered Israel from Egypt and brought them safely through the wilderness. As Moses stood on the mountain, the people below heard the thunder and saw the lightning. They witnessed the greatness and holiness of God. The people were overwhelmed by the mighty presence of the Lord. They stepped back and spoke to Moses. "Speak to us yourself, and we will listen," they said. "But do not let God speak to us directly, or we may die." Moses answered them, "Do not be afraid. God has come to reveal his power and teach you to honor him." The mountain remained covered with clouds and smoke as Moses stayed in God's presence, receiving the words that would guide the nation of Israel for generations to come. Moses remained on Mount Sinai in the presence of God. The mountain was covered with thick clouds, and the sound of thunder continued to fill the air. The people of Israel watched from below, waiting for Moses to return. They knew something important had happened on the mountain. God had spoken, and Moses had received his words for the entire nation. After spending time with God, Moses came down from Mount Sinai and returned to the people. He carried with him the commandments that God had given for Israel to follow. When the people saw Moses approaching, they gathered around him. They looked at him with respect and waited to hear everything God had said. Moses stood before the nation and shared the words of the Lord. He reminded them that God was the one who had brought them out of Egypt. He had heard their cries when they were suffering and had shown his mighty power by delivering them from Pharaoh's rule. Now God was teaching them how to live as his people. The commandments were to guide their worship, their families, and the way they treated one another. The people listened carefully as Moses repeated the words God had spoken. They heard that the Lord alone was their God. They heard that they must not create idols to worship. They heard that God's name must be honored. They heard that there was a special day set apart for rest. They heard the command to respect their parents. They heard the instructions about protecting life, honoring marriage, speaking truth, respecting what belongs to others, and being content with what God had given them. These words became the foundation for the nation of Israel. Moses also reminded the people of the amazing moment they had witnessed on the mountain. "You have seen for yourselves that I have spoken to you from heaven," the Lord had said. The people remembered the thunder, the lightning, the trumpet sound, and the shaking mountain. They remembered how powerful God's presence had been among them. The commandments were not just words written on stone. They were a covenant between God and his people. They showed Israel how they could walk with God as they journeyed toward the land he had promised to give them. For many years, these commandments would be taught from parents to children, from one generation to the next. Families would gather and remember how God had met Moses on Mount Sinai and revealed his will. The journey of Israel continued, but they were no longer the same people who had left Egypt. They had witnessed God's power, heard his voice, and received his commandments. Mount Sinai remained a powerful reminder of the day when God came near to his people and gave them his laws. The story of Moses receiving the 10 Commandments became one of the most important moments in the history of Israel, a moment when God revealed his holiness and showed his people the path he wanted them to follow. Reflection. Many years have passed since that unforgettable day at Mount Sinai, but the moment when God spoke to Moses remains a powerful reminder of God's love and guidance. Imagine standing with the people of Israel at the foot of that great mountain. Imagine hearing the thunder, seeing the lightning, and watching the cloud of God's presence cover the mountain. It was a moment that showed the greatness and holiness of the Lord. But behind all the power and wonder was something even deeper. God wanted a relationship with his people. The commandments were not given to make life difficult. They were given because God cared for Israel. He had rescued them from slavery, carried them through the wilderness, provided food and water for them, and now he was teaching them how to live together as one nation under his care. God knew that people needed guidance. He knew families needed love and respect. He knew communities needed honesty, kindness, and trust. The commandments were like a light shining on the path, helping his people know the right way to walk. Moses came down from Mount Sinai carrying God's words, and those words would continue from generation to generation. Parents would teach their children. Children would grow and teach their own families. The message of God's commands would continue spreading throughout the world. Today, the story of Moses and the Ten Commandments still reminds us that our choices matter. The way we speak to our family members matters. The way we treat our parents, siblings, friends, and neighbors matters. The honesty we show when nobody is watching matters. Every small act of obedience, kindness, and love can create a positive change around us. A child who learns to respect others can bring peace into the home. A parent who shows patience can create a loving environment for the family. A person who chooses truth instead of lies can build trust that lasts for many years. Just as the people of Israel stood together at Mount Sinai and listened to God's voice, we too can choose to listen to his wisdom and allow his words to guide our lives. The mountain may have been thousands of years ago, but God's desire remains the same. He wants his people to walk with him, love one another, and reflect his goodness wherever they go. Moral lessons from the story. 1. God's instructions come from his love. The Ten Commandments were not meant to harm people, but to protect them and teach them how to live in a way that brings peace and blessing. 2. We should honor God above everything else. God deserves our respect, worship, and trust because he is the one who gives us life and cares for us. 3. Our actions affect the people around us. The choices we make every day can bring happiness or sadness to our families and communities. A kind word, a helping hand, and a truthful heart can make a big difference. 4. Respect and love begin at home. When children honor their parents, and families treat one another with kindness, homes become places of peace and joy. 5. Obedience builds a stronger relationship with God. Listening to God's guidance helps us grow in faith and become better examples to others. Share this video with your family. Share it with your friends. You never know whose heart may be encouraged by hearing God's word today. Parents, when you teach your children stories like this, you are planting seeds of faith, kindness, and wisdom that can influence their future. Children, when you choose respect, honesty, and kindness, you're making your home a happier place and showing God's love to the people around you. Remember, one good decision can inspire another person. One kind action can brighten someone's day. One loving word can bring hope to a family member who needs encouragement. Before you leave, write this powerful message in the comment section and say it with faith. I will honor God, love my family, choose kindness, and let my life be a blessing to others. Write it below as your promise today. With God's help, I will make choices that bring love, peace, and happiness to my family and everyone around me. May God bless you, guide you, and help you become a light that shines wherever you go. Like this video, subscribe, and share it with someone you love. Together, we can help more children and families discover the beautiful lessons found in God's Word.